Hi, I'm back and I'm here today to do the reading for Virgo. My name is Colette and my channel is Inspiring Life Changes, and the reading, as I said, is for Virgo for 2022. I know I'm late and I was hoping to get them out over the Christmas period, Virgo, so I really do apologise for that, but I was unwell, so I didn't manage to get around to doing it. So I feel as though I really should be kind of pushing on with them and hopefully getting them done before the end of February. So this is a Virgo Sun, Moon, Venus rising reading. So if you've got Virgo in any of those placements, this reading may resonate with you. If you don't know where those placements are, Virgo, there will be a link in the description box down below for you to check that out for yourselves, as it always helps to have a bigger picture, I feel, astrologically, of what's happening in your life as well, and kind of like understand the energies that are playing out at this time. So the reading is going to be set out like a clock, so there's 12 positions for each month, and I'm using one deck for just the major arcana and another deck for the minor arcana, so there's 2 cards for each of the settings, and then I'm going to do some confirmation with a separate deck as well, so that we've got the full kind of gamut of all the cards, so that anything could come out. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with your January energy, even though we know that January has passed. We have the major arcana card of the devil here, and this literally came out like this, like it was crossed, almost like you had a decision or you couldn't make up your mind about something. The 7 of fire is an energy of standing up for yourself, keeping others' opinions, views at bay. So you may have had something that you were very kind of like strongly how can I put it, strongly in tune with, strongly like something that you were very strongly opinionated about for yourself, something that you yourself were very like, this is my truth, this is how I feel about this. And you've got the devil in reverse as well, so there could have been some toxic energy here, some poison kind of energy, somebody who was maybe kind of trying to go behind your back about something as well, because this is another energy for that. The 7 of fire can also mean somebody is trying to take your, like, something that you've worked hard for, something that you have achieved for yourself, Virgo. Somebody else could be trying to come in and steal it from you. But there feels like, with this being a cross, like a challenging energy for you to stand up to this person. But if you see with it in reverse, it's like, it feels like this person has some kind of control over you here, or at least they have had in the past. Because with that person in the cage, or this could have been your energy, this could have been you doing this to somebody else, Virgo. This could have been you feeling as though you had to kind of put somebody in their place. Maybe you had to use intimidating tactics to try and keep somebody at bay, which you probably weren't overly pleased about having to do. Maybe the devil in reverse does bring up our fears, it brings up our worries, our stresses about what other people are going to think if we behave a certain way, do a certain thing. Can also be to do with addictions as well. So there could have been something, Virgos, for some of you out there, that you were trying to break free from here, something that you were trying to no longer be a part of, keeping it at bay, keeping this person. It could be somebody who had a very addictive nature around you as well, that you maybe had to keep away from you. but it wasn't, it feels as though it wasn't an easy situation. It was something that was quite challenging for you here. So as we move, actually I'm going to do the confirmation cards first. Sometimes I forget to do the confirmation cards and then I have to do it all at the end, but I would rather do it now. And we have Justice over the top here, which is interesting because I saw this card earlier on the bottom of the deck, so it's definitely a card that wanted to come out. So Justice is upright, so it's saying that your actions will lead to a good outcome, a good result, that you are not the one that has to worry about any karmic retribution here. That you have been acting from a place of honesty, truthfulness. It could be legal matters as well when Justice comes out. It could be to do with courts for some of you Virgos out there. A balancing up of the scales. Somebody's getting their just desserts, so to speak, is what I'm hearing. Don't know if that's going to be for all of you Virgos out there. It could be a divorce. It could be something where you've had to keep this person at bay over something, or they've had this kind of control over you in the past, but they don't have that anymore. But as we move into February, as we're in February, we have the Major Arcana card of Justice again, but this time it's in reverse, so that's very interesting. And then we have the Two of Air here as well, and the Two of Air for me is always about following somebody else's dream or somebody else's ideas, being kind of lulled into something, kind of maybe a false sense of security here. With the Justice card coming out, so that's twice with the Justice card, Major Arcana energy. So something could have tipped the scales here. Where you thought maybe that things were going your way and then something happened. Maybe you lost your sense of direction here, Virgo. Maybe you succumbed to some form of temptation, because I do see this as a temptation energy as well. Like a hypnotizing energy, like follow me kind of energy. So you may have followed somebody else's, like I said, ideas or somebody else's choices here, and not actually taken your own path here, Virgo. And this could still be ongoing. This could still be where the energy that you're in at the moment, because this is February energy here. So you could still be finding yourself being kind of, it feels like lulled into this kind of false sense of security, which isn't at all secure. But this person is kind of bringing you into this merry dance somehow, or leading you a merry dance. Is what's coming through. Very kind of seductive energy. But it's saying to me that you need to make a decision here. You need to make a decision, especially with Justice in reverse. Especially after you've just had the Justice card here as well, where things were kind of balancing in your favour. It kind of feels as though a decision needs to be made that isn't an easy decision, and you know that there's going to be retribution, or there's going to be some kind of consequence from whichever action you decide to take here. It's like, it feels like there's no easy way out of the situation. There's kind of two options but both options are going to cause some kind of disruption or upset, or, like I said, consequences for actions that were taken previously. Virgo, so let's see what the confirmation energy is saying here. That's quick. Something else as well with the Justice card as well is that you may have to try and remove your kind of emotional and sentimental attachment to a certain situation, and try to see things from a lot more kind of, like, if you look here, she actually has no eyes. I mean, her eyes look like they're shut, but they're kind of sealed shut. And that's because she needs to be able to make decisions from a non-attached point of view or perspective. So you may be having to do that, Virgo. You may be having to take back some kind of sentimental, emotional attachment and kind of see it from more of a third person party, kind of looking in on it rather than being involved in it kind of energy. Because if you're kind of caught up in it, whatever this is, if you're caught up in it, you're going to feel, or it's quite possible that you could make the wrong choice. And we also have the King of Pentacles, who's just come out here as well. So it could lead to a feeling of insecurity. It could lead to you feeling like you've lost what you've gained. Because the King is very, like, he's worked hard. It's like an energy of having worked hard to achieve what he's achieved, and he's very proud of what he's achieved, and he's very attached to what he's achieved here as well. So it could be for some of you Virgos that you're having to come to terms with. It does feel like a kind of a divorce situation, or a situation that involves somebody else's side of the story. But the King of Pentacles in reverse is kind of saying to me that there could be this feeling of loss here. The King is a mature energy. So like I said, it's like somebody who's worked hard, they've achieved, they've got their success. But here it feels as though there is some kind of loss with that success. And it could be to do with finances, because it has got Pentacles energy, is all about financial stability. And where you place your financial stability, and also, but it's also about well-being as well. It's also about a sense of like how you look after yourself with your financial success. Taking care of your own needs is what's coming through here as well. Taking care of your own needs, your own health could also be an issue here. If it all kind of gets really stressed out, you could find yourself like suffering health-wise as well, possibly. So look after yourself as well here, Virgo. Being an earth energy, this is your energy. King of Pentacles, earth energy. And it can relate to earthiness, to health, your body, the physical world that you live in, your environment. Could be stressing you out as well. So as we move into March, you have the Moon card in reverse, and for me, whenever the Moon card's in reverse, it's kind of the new moon energy. So it's things that are hidden, things that are secretive, things that are not being shown or seen. So this is the major arcana energy around you at this time, and you also have the 8 of Pentacles here in reverse as well. So I feel as though this could be you working on something in the background here, Virgo. Something that you're not showing others, something that you're keeping to yourself here during March. You could be working on yourself, literally, on your emotions, because the moon is about the emotional realm. But the 8 talks about this sense of bringing something back. Because each of these pentacles here relates to something that you've achieved in the past, but now you're kind of working on something else, which is this kind of violin energy, which I'm kind of seeing it as being yourself here. But whatever it is you're working on, there is this kind of secretive energy here, or things aren't being spoken about here. Emotions are being kept hidden, kept underground possibly, but it feels like you're working on something that has been like a success previously maybe, and now you're kind of revamping it, is kind of how that's coming through. But you're doing it very kind of secretly, very kind of in the background of everything else. You may also find with this Moon card in reverse as well that you aren't being given all the information that you need as well to actually bring something to fruition here. So for some of you Virgos, it could be a case of like feeling as though you are literally in the dark about something here, and not having all the information that you need in order to kind of move forward with something. To build on something. It can be returning to something, the Ace of Earth. Like willing to put the time and the energy and the effort into something. And we have the Sun, which is very interesting. So you have the Sun upright with the Moon. Sorry about that glare. Just see if I can move that around a wee bit without it all falling over and disturbing everything else. There we go. Hopefully that will stay there. So yeah, the Sun and the Moon together, I mean, that kind of like talks of the masculine and the feminine energy as well, kind of bringing something to the light. It's like something is going to be brought into the light, but first of all it needs to be worked on in the background, is kind of how it's coming through for me. And when it's ready, when you're ready, Virgo, it will be a success. This is a card of success, the Sun. It's one of the best cards in the deck. It relates to Leo energy. Success, joy, happiness, seeing things clearly. Yeah, feeling on top of things, not letting things get you down, is how it's coming through. So whatever it is that you're doing in March, there does feel like this kind of heading towards a successful outcome. And in April, you have two major Arcana cards that have come out, which are both interesting in themselves again as well. We have the Magician, who's come out upright, and the Empress, who's come out in reverse. So the Magician is all about manifesting your future, bringing to you what it is that you want to experience. But with the Empress in reverse here, it feels as though you don't quite have enough belief in yourself or in somebody else to achieve that goal. And we also have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse as well. And this is very much the card of self-worth. And when it's in reverse, it's kind of saying that that self-worth is not very apparent at this time. It's interesting because it's gone from the 8 here to the 9, both in reverse. So it's kind of saying to me, Virgo, that you need to believe in yourself a lot more than you do. You need to give yourself a lot more credit for what it is that you do, what it is that you've achieved. And not to kind of, with this Empress energy, I mean, this could also be you trying to manifest somebody in your life who for you is that Empress energy, somebody who ticks all those boxes, who is nurturing, who is kind, gentle, loving, creative. And because this is what the Magician is saying here, like, you know, he's got all his tools here, and all his tools are the elements. The sword of the intelligence. It's like you want all of this in this one person, but for some reason you don't believe that you're worthy enough for that as well. Or for some of you it could also be, which is interesting because these two cards look very, very similar to me here. So this could be you lacking belief in yourself is kind of how it's coming through here, Virgo. Because they do look, if you look at those two cards, there's a real kind of strong similarity going on there. And they're both wanting something new as well, because if you see here, she's holding this little yellow flower in her hand there. And she's very focused on it, which is kind of this energy here as well. As I was saying, you've got this sword of the mind, the thought, the intelligence, and you've got the wand or the baton for the creative fire element, and then you have the cup, which is the emotional water element. Of course, the sword is the mind, the air element, and then it all comes together or creates through the physical realm, which is the pentacle down at the bottom there as well. So that's where we see the results of what we've been trying to manifest. But if you're not manifesting from a place of feeling worthy, which I feel you aren't particularly feeling at that time, or in April, you're not feeling particularly worthy here. I will just say that in April, Pluto is going to retrograde again, and for Virgos it's going to be trining your planets. So whatever you've got in the later stages of Virgo, if you have any planets or points at that point of your chart, then you are going to experience this kind of Pluto energy, which could have something to do with self-worth as well. It is very physical energy. Pluto in Capricorn, trining over to your own energy, which is this kind of energy here again, this Virgo energy. Abundance, creativity, but it feels like trying to manifest somebody in your life or a situation in your life that is going to give you, feed you. As I was saying, sorry, there's this, like with this flower here, I also feel as though because she's holding a baby, and the baby kind of represents something new, a new beginning, a new start. But there's a part of you, Virgo, that doesn't believe that that's possible, is kind of what's coming through here. So this is about working on your self-worth in April. And believing in yourself and believing that you have that right to have that abundance, however that is for you. Abundance in a relationship, family situation, business, however that abundance manifests for you, however it is that you are trying to manifest that. So as we move into May, we have some very interesting cards. We have the Star energy, which is wish fulfillment, and then we have the Nine of Fire. And for me, the Nine of Fire is very, very similar to the Magician energy. So it's almost like carrying it through from April into May. There's this kind of continuation, and it feels to me as though you're kind of getting it. It's kind of, you get it for some reason, something clicks, something happens. Because for me, I see this as her kind of, it's like it goes from a star to these little lights beings down here, fireflies, whatever you want to see them, however you prefer to call them. These little firefly beings, light beings. So it's like transformation is taking place here. And there's a very focused energy in this card as well. Very focused on what it is that she's wanting, or you're wanting. I'm only saying she because it's a she in the card, so not gender specific, just the fact that it's a she in the card, it makes it easier. Male or female makes no difference. But this beautiful star energy here as well is bringing in this wish fulfillment. It's almost like there is this kind of, you realise that it's coming from elsewhere. And it's almost like something becomes unblocked for you in May. Like you realise the connection to yourself and everything else. And that the only person standing in the way of this manifestation energy is you. You. Here. So that's how it feels. It feels like something becomes unblocked. And I've just got goosebumps just thinking about that. So I feel as though that's quite a strong energy. And there's definite similarities here with these stars as well, and all this energy around, and she's kind of pouring this energy out of these very kind of rainbow coloured jugs. So that's how it feels, Virgo. It feels like something is going to become unblocked and you're kind of going to link into something on a much grander scale and bring it down into the physical realm. It's like something just kind of clicks and makes sense to you. And you kind of see the light. And I'm going to have to... I got carried away. I forgot to do the confirmation card here. Sorry, Virgo. I'm going to have to go back and see what the confirmation energy... Yeah, very interesting. So this is for all of this energy, the Four of Coins. So this is your blockage. Literally, you've got your heart guarded there. You've got literally all of this. It feels like a weight on your head. And how it feels to me is like the old energy of everything that you've been told about how life is and how life should be is kind of keeping you weighed down. It's like you know that it works differently, or you know that there's something different to life, but you're kind of held down and weighed down by all this past kind of experience, but also I feel conditioning. It's like past conditioning, what you've been told, this is how it is, this is how it's always been kind of energy, this is how it works. But there's a part of you that kind of knows that that's not completely true. And you're not very happy about it. And this is what I feel is going to become unblocked. This is what gets unblocked. It's almost like you reaching out to the universe. It's like this is very physical. It feels like this is a very physical, material energy of like you go to work, you do this, you do that, you pay mortgage, you la 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 la, and it kind of feels as though this is unblocking. Like this is no longer how you are going to tune in, shall we say, to what is coming into your life. It's like you know you want to manifest, and you know that you have the ability, even though there's a part of you that doesn't trust yourself. But it's like the old and the stagnant energy here is how this is coming through as well. The old belief system. That's the word I'm looking for here. This is old way of thinking and doing and believing, and this is you kind of taking a step into the energy and frequency of things instead. Working with energy and frequency and vibration. Whereas this is you being very much stuck in how you believe that things should be. Is how that's come through. So Virgo, let's see what's happening for you in May with this manifesting destiny energy as well. The star can be to do with destiny. But I feel as though it's to do with a kind of bigger awareness, a bigger understanding of kind of almost like, well, that's where I've been going wrong. That's what I've been doing that hasn't given me the results that I want to see. And we've just got 4 cards come out here. So yeah, this is kind of the 5 of Swords to me, your self-sabotage, you stopping yourself from getting what it is that you want. This is the old competitive idea and view of how life should be or is. This is the very kind of materialistic Darwinism kind of idea of the strongest, the fittest, survive, that kind of energy. And then we have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is somebody who's very acutely aware. Like he knows intelligently, he knows that something logically makes sense. It's like something makes sense that didn't make sense before. But we do have the 2 of Swords here, which is interesting because it's kind of saying that there's two paths here. There's 2 choices for you to make, which was also over here as well with this 2 of Swords energy. But this Two of Swords is slightly different because there's this state of kind of paralysis here with these two ideas that are coming in when it's in reverse. These two swords, these two ideas. And it feels like one is the old idea and way of doing things, what you're used to, how you've always done things before. And then we do have the Four of Wands in reverse as well. And the Four of Wands is a card of trying to bring something together, that structure, creating something long term, something that's going to be in your future, but it's creating it in the now. But it can also be about feeling boxed in as well, the Four of Wands. Particularly when it's in reverse. Because it is these structures here, which could have you feeling as though you are boxed into like some kind of corner here. A lot of mental energy here, a lot of mental kind of anguish, a lot of kind of indecision. Do I, don't I? Which could also have something to do with kind of walking away from past situation here as well. For you, Virgo. So, as you move into June, you have the World card. And the Four of Wands again, but this time the Four of Wands is upright. So the World card is literally talking about ending that cycle, finishing something off, like there is something that is changing. You're moving forward. A cycle is ending, a karmic cycle, something that has been ongoing for some time. You are leaving something behind, and kind of like, I always see him, I don't know if you can see it with this light, but he actually has no face. This Fool card has no face at all. He's just very blank. He has a blank face there. So it's kind of saying that, like for me, I see it as this blank like piece of paper. Like that cycle has ended, it's finished, so it's kind of like you've got this new cycle that you're moving into to create whatever it is that you're wanting to create. And again, with the Four of Wands here, it is a very creative energy. But you had it there in the reverse as well, so it's interesting that it should come out again. You've got a lot of kind of similar cards, but they're either reversed or they're oh yeah, they're reversed basically, so they're kind of telling a different story, and it kind of feels as though you're learning as you go through this period, through this year 2022, Virgo. There's kind of, it feels like a growth period for you. understanding things in a different way, looking at life in a different way. Four of Wands, Four of Fire can be, again, that challenge. But what I'm seeing here is this very kind of creative energy. Celebratory energy. It is like a celebratory energy. Celebrating something that is brand new to you, something that you're going to enjoy doing. Because whereas this is in reverse and it felt as though you were kind of stuck in something or boxed in, this feels like a much more kind of like an open expression of who you are in this new cycle as you move forward. So let's see what the confirmation energy has to say here for you, Virgo. Confirmation for Virgo 2022, please, for May. Oh no, sorry, June. The Three of Pentacles. So this is about coming together and collaborating with other people, which is what I feel this creative energy here is about. You expressing, you finding your passion, maybe. Because I see it as a very kind of creative, passionate energy. Wands, fire is very creative, it is very passionate. It feels like something that is being released from within you now. She's sitting there and she's kind of playing this music, this flute. So it could also be something that you, how can I put it, like something that you've wanted to do for a long time, maybe learn something, but there's this passion coming through for me on this card. And then there's this, with the Three of Pentacles, there's this coming together to make something, to build something, to work on something with other people. This could be a group of people, Virgo. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be business, it could be a relationship, a new relationship that you're kind of going to be building on. But it doesn't feel like that at this time. It feels more like something that you want to create here. You want to bring it together, you want to build it, you want to start this new cycle with a lot of drive and passion for something that you're hoping is going to be rewarding. But it's not, it's something that you can't do it on your own, so you're going to have to kind of work with other people on this as well. Or you could be put into a situation where you're going to help other people to learn, teach maybe the knowledge that you do have. So June, it feels like quite an active month is what's coming through here. Quite active, quite a doing kind of energy. And then as we move into July, we have the Death card here in reverse, which again could be that Pluto energy for some of you Virgos out there. Transformation, things changing in your life. Because it's also come out with the Ten of Pentacles here. And the Ten of Pentacles is also an ending of something that, again, I get this feeling of something that's kind of boxed you in or hedged you in, or hasn't given you fully what it is that you have wanted to. I don't know about succeed. It feels more like something that hasn't fed you on a deeper level. There's something transforming here for you, Virgo. It could be a work situation again. It could be to do with work, because it is Pentacles, and Pentacles is about our finances and our earthly realm, the material realm. It's interesting how you go from this card here, the World card, of ending a cycle, and then this transformative energy comes in as well. But it is in reverse, so there may be a part of you that is struggling with letting something go, because that's in reverse as well. So there may be something that you're still kind of holding on to in the physical realm, something you don't want to let go, or you don't want it to transform, you don't want it to change, or you're reluctant to see it change, you're reluctant to allow it to change. Tens are final completions. It's like when you get to that 10, you get stuck if you don't kind of bring in new energy or new way of looking at something, or a new idea to expand and grow on something. Then it will just stagnate. It won't go any further than that. So that's kind of what's coming through, is this kind of reluctance to, or possibly worry or fear. Because the Death card here has also got a snake, and of course snakes shed their skin as they grow. Very scorpionic energy, kind of going down into the depths of yourself in order to release the old, allow the new to transform you. That's what's coming through for me, is this sense of not wanting to let go of something. And we have the Empress in reverse again, and the Six of Swords. So it could be this Empress energy that you're not wanting to let go of here. But there is this transformation is taking place. It may not be easy, is what's coming through. It may not be an easy situation, an easy transition is what I'm getting here. It may not be an easy transition for you to make, but there is, here with the Six of Swords, there is a transition that is coming as you're leaving the past behind, and this past could have something to do with this Empress energy, who again is in reverse, and we have her in reverse here again. So the Empress is that nurturing, giving, abundant energy when she's upright, but when she's in reverse, again it feels like something isn't connecting with you here. Venus energy. It could have something to do with somebody who you have this strong attachment with. This Venus energy, somebody who means a lot to you. It could be a mother energy as well. Or somebody who is very close to you, somebody who you're very attached to and you're having to leave behind on some level. The Empress energy, when she's in reverse as well, can also be the mother that doesn't want to let go. So there could also be some of that happening here as well, with this transformation and kind of having to move forward and move away. So this can also be, when the Empress is in reverse, it can be that domineering, very kind of like tied to the apron strings kind of mothering energy. And that doesn't necessarily just have to be like a female. That can also be just as masculine as well. Somebody who thinks that they have to take responsibility for everybody in a way, but it's either like the motherer or the smotherer, and this is kind of like the smothering energy that doesn't actually allow you to live your life for yourself, because they're overly protective, overly they themselves could live in worry about what might happen to you. So they could have been an energy that you've kind of like is in the background of your life here, Virgo. Or when it's upright, when it's in reverse, it could also be an absent energy as well. But there is a feeling here that you're moving past this. You're moving on from this energy. Something major is shifting. Something major is really shifting here for you to be able to see things or experience life in a different way is kind of what I'm getting with this Six of Swords, moving away from the turbulence and the past into the future. And with the Six of Swords as well, it's like this person in this boat doesn't necessarily know where they're going. They just know that they have to move on. They just know that they have to get out of that kind of turbulent, emotional upset. But the swords all pointing down as well, kind of on some level can kind of say that this is a, does it feel like an energy of defeat somehow? Or that you're just like not wanting to argue anymore, like you're just stepping away from all of this. You're just kind of like, I don't want to argue with this person anymore, or this situation anymore. It's not feeding me anymore. It's not nurturing me. It's not helping me to grow. So it's kind of coming to this decision and moving forward with a sense of, I don't know if defeat's the right word. There's like a serenity somehow, like a giving up of something, like a releasing and letting go of something. Like a knowing that that's the only thing that you can do. And then we have the Temperance energy here as we move into August. And Temperance has also come out in reverse here. And she has come out with the Page of Fire, who is actually upright. And my attention was being drawn to this fire down here. And this energy, I always see this as new territory. It's like a new world, a new fantasy land, something that you are creating with the page of fire, page of wands. There's all those butterflies around her as well. So there is still this transformative energy, it feels like. You're still in this kind of transformative stage here. But it also feels with this Temperance card in reverse here that you're kind of giving up on, how can I put it, like the emotional side of life here. There needs to be a balance is what's coming through. The balance of the fire energy and the water energy. So this is like creativity and emotions. It's like one, because water puts out fire. So it can be to do with kind of like too much emotional like instability somehow. It's like there needs to be a balance between your emotions and your creative drive. Also, that creative drive may well have also been subdued in the Temperance energy here, because it does talk about a kind of alchemical process of bringing things together to balance them so that they work hand in hand. And if it's to do with another person, it's to do with communication. It's about allowing things to flow. But when it's in reverse, again, it's that kind of stagnation energy of when something isn't, as I was talking about here with this 10 of coins as well, that when something isn't given new life, it will just stagnate and die. So there needs to be, like with this card here, this creativity, this new inquisitive, inquiring, because pages are always young energy that is learning about itself. It's learning about the element that it is. So the page is inquisitive. It needs to have experience in order to grow. So it's almost like kind of being in this new land, this new territory of this creative vision, this transformation. It feels like you, in fact, Virgo, this young you in a way. And so there needs to be some patience here as well to balance things out. Because another thing with the Page of Wands as well is that because that energy is a young energy, it can easily get stamped on by other people who kind of like don't have your creative vision for something, or the idea in the same way, or they don't necessarily see things the same way as you do, so they can be very kind of down on something, or downing on you about something. And so at this time with this fire down here, I feel as though this kind of this emotional, the more emotional side of you is what's being kind of brought up to the surface, whereas this more creative side of you down here is kind of is being more kind of suppressed, but it wants to come out. It wants to play, it wants to create, it wants to have fun. That's what I'm getting from that energy there. It wants to transform. Because it feels as though there is that transformative energy still going on. As I was saying, it's alchemical. It's like finding bringing balance within yourself. Finding just the right amount of emotional inputs and creativity, or creative output, is kind of what's coming through here. And again, that could be to do with communication, because communication is not just about talking. Communication is also about listening as well. So it could also have something to do with like taking on board other people's, or maybe you feeling as though other people aren't listening to your creative needs or drive, or yeah, creative needs maybe is what's coming through. It is interesting because we have the Ten of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So you go from the Page to the Queen of Wands here, and the Ten of Cups, which is all about happiness, all about finding your joy, your creativity, your passion, your life is what's coming through for me here. But first of all, it's like having to, well, to balance things up within yourself, but to allow this side of yourself to enjoy, to have fun. And as you do that, it gets stronger and stronger until you kind of move into this more confident energy with the Queen of Wands, much more confident, much more kind of like, and it's similar to what I was talking about earlier with this kind of manifesting energy as well. The Queen of Wands has that ability to manifest things into her life. She magnetizes things to her. She brings things towards her. She's very magnetic energy in itself, that fire energy. And I feel, Virgo, as though you're going to kind of tap into that fire energy, and it's going to play a bigger part in your life, that creative drive that you may not have up till now, because it feels as though it's been very like earth-bound energy, which has held you back there. But with this Ten of Cups upright, it really feels like you're going to find that joy and that passion, and you're going to find it for yourself, from within yourself. So let's see what happens in September. September, you have the Sun card again. So it's kind of saying to me that things are going really well, that you're, again, it's that fire, it's that passion, it's that drive, it's that creativity. You're riding high is kind of how it's coming through to me here. Although you do have the Page of Water, which is interesting because I was talking about this fire and water combination in this Temperance card here as well. This balancing of these two elements, emotions and passion. And so here it feels as though with this the Page of Water, again, young energy. An energy that's kind of emotionally just beginning to feel that it's okay to feel again. that it's all right. It feels like there's been a healing taking place, even though it's in reverse. It could still be that that healing is ongoing, because this can also be a kind of healing energy as well. Kind of like, I see temperance as kind of that finding your that balance within yourself. So you're not relying on anybody else outside of you. And the Sun card is kind of expressing that as well. But with the Page of Water, there's still this kind of emotional hesitancy. Like there is a healing that is taking place, but on the surface it's like all of this, like the sun, it's like on the surface everything's good, everything's going really well, you're riding high, you're feeling successful, you're confident, you're happy, but there is this kind of lurking behind the scenes here. Page of Water could also have something to do with a young child as well, because all the pages are young energy. It could also be your own inner child, the Page of Water. As I was saying, that it's just kind of beginning to emerge again, just kind of beginning to want to test the waters when it comes to feeling safe to be able to go outside and experience life again, is also what I'm getting here. To stand in the sunshine, enjoy the sunshine. There could be something here about past experiences, past traumas perhaps. So let's see what else comes out for you here, Virgo, in September. Could also be that you are, with the Page of Water in reverse, it could also be that you are kind of ignoring that side of yourself at this time, Virgo. Very much more focused on that kind of masculine sun, passion, driving, happy, like I'll experience it all while I can type of energy with the sun. So I've just got a whole stack of cards come out here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So something isn't moving or shifting here with the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have the Magician in reverse. We have the Death card in reverse. We have the Chariot card in reverse. Wow, that's a lot of major arcana. My goodness, I've just realised 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas all come out at the same time in September. It feels to me, and the Knight of Cups is in reverse as well, which is interesting because that kind of relates to the Page of Cups here as well. So it feels to me that there's a lot of kind of bravado going on here in September. There's kind of putting on like almost this energy of fake it till you make it is what's coming through here. There is this kind of real strong driving, I can do anything kind of energy here. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. But in the background, it feels as though there's something that is not being acknowledged, which is your emotional self, your emotional needs. So this also feels like possibly like a lot of partying, a lot of going out, a lot of having fun, all of that stuff from previous, kind of your confidence is running high, you're really enjoying life, you're loving what you're doing, but there is this kind of shadow in the background is kind of how it's coming through. And with all this 4 major arcana cards, this is a lot of energy in September, a lot of big energy for you to be dealing with. And it kind of feels like this is, again, it's kind of what's in the background here. And there's this kind of, I know the Sun's the best card in the tarot, and I know that it's a very successful card, but there's also this kind of warning here of not to overdo things, Virgo. Not to overplay your hand or overstretch something, not to overdo it. Yeah, like burn the candle at both ends is what's coming through. Because the Wheel of Fortune is kind of saying to me that there's something that is not being I don't know about acknowledged, but it's like the wheel is not shifting. It's not moving when it's in reverse. So it feels on some level like going backwards or being very stuck. Being very stuck. Okay, like there's this stuck, yeah, because you've got all 4 of these major arcana cards in reverse here. So nothing seems to be moving forward, particularly with this Chariot in reverse here again as well. And this Knight of Cups is kind of saying to me that, you know, unless you deal with this energy here, you're just going to keep getting the same result with this Knight of Cups here, which isn't going to bring you happiness in the long run. Short term, maybe, short term happiness, but not long term happiness. And so as we move into October, we have the Emperor energy. Again, very masculine, very driven energy, very doing energy. But behind it we have the King of Wands, who, if you see there, he's kind of holding this heart in his hand down here. And we also have the Sun energy kind of radiating out from behind his head as well. So the King of Wands here for me is that kind of very, again, confident, sure of himself kind of energy, where especially when he's upright. And the Queen of Wands here as well. So there's a lot, there still is a lot of that's interesting as well, because I've just noticed that he's got like this red on his breastplate there. He's got like this red dot. But he's holding these 2 light kind of bulb things, whatever they are. And it's like he's empowered. It feels like he's very empowered here, Virgo. Like he's in charge. He's in control of his world, of his domain. And it's very driven, masculine energy. And we have the Ten of Swords that's come out with this king as well. And the Ten of Swords is very similar. It's a 10, so it's an ending, it's a culmination. It's releasing that pain and that hurt. Releasing the beliefs around something as well, because it's mind energy, it's air energy, so it can be to do with releasing the beliefs around something. It could have something to do with how you love, how you give your heart away. Or it could be that you are opening up to that. Because if you look at his face there as well, he's got like this butterfly kind of image on his face there. So again, more transformation that is taking place here. But it feels as though you need to let something go, that something needs to be released here. Because we have the Four of Earth energy after this as well. And the Four of Earth energy, to me, is the moth to the flame type of energy, like something that you can't let go of, something that you can't pull away from. It's kind of that similar energy, but it's not as dense, I don't feel, as it is in this card. But there is this, if you look carefully, she has got this moth, this little pink moth in her hand there. But it is in reverse. So it feels like a sense of like with this Emperor and this King of Fire, like really wanting to be in control, really wanting to be, maybe be in control of yourself here, Virgo, of your environment, of your heart. It just feels like a really strong energy of I want to be able to control what happens to me. And this Ten of Air here, as I was saying, this Ten of Swords, it's a much more gentle Ten of Swords because it's all feathers rather than swords. But there is this releasing or shedding process, letting something go. Again, because 10 energy is final. It's like, again, if you don't move on from the 10, you stay stuck, which is kind of what this was saying here as well. All this kind of stuck energy. You say stay stuck doing the same thing over and over again and kind of getting the same results. So this Four of Wands in reverse is kind of saying to me that okay, that's interesting. Kind of saying don't go too close to the fire or the flame because you will get burnt. Yeah, just get this strong feeling of you wanting to be in control, wanting to have like control over your domain, over your life, over your heart. And you're ready and willing to let something go here with the Ten of Air. Upright. But with the Four of Earth here as well. It feels as though there's something that's again stuck, stagnant, holding back, not being allowed to fully release something. Maybe you get to almost release something here, Virgo. Maybe you start releasing something, but then it stops. And you get kind of trapped in that mindset again. That mindset of it has to be done a certain way, a certain, like it's almost like you lose that connection. With your, I'm going to say with your higher self. You lose that connection with your higher self or the spirit realm or whoever it is, the guidance that you get, that you turn to. This could be a person, somebody who you trust, but it feels as though it's more about a stagnation within yourself, because we also have the Four of Swords here as well, and this talks about holding back, resting, piecing, like peace, resting, staying out of difficult situations, giving yourself some peace and quiet to think things through. So that's another Four as well. And Fours are a challenge. They're a difficult energy. They're a challenging energy, Fours, because they make up like a square. And then you have the Hierophant in reverse as well. And the Hierophant can be about responsibilities, commitment, and you also have the Strength card in reverse here as well. Hierophant can also be about faith as well, like outer, inner and outer faith. And facing up to something, like the strength card in reverse. It's like not wanting to face up to something. So this could actually be, if this isn't your energy, Virgo, this could also be somebody outside of your energy, somebody who you know, who has this very dominant energy, very like with the Emperor and the Empress energy. It could be somebody who kind of you feel can fulfill your needs. And so you may, with this King of Wands here as well, you may want to to give this person your heart. This person may light you up, literally, or this situation. May light you up. It may be something that kind of brings out, again, that fire and that passion and that drive, because it's very much lit up. I mean, the whole card here is lit up, and it's all lit up around his head here as well. But there is this transformation that is still taking place here. You can see on his face he's got like this very kind of like skeletal, like when you look at a leaf that's kind of lost all its outer fibre and it's just got that kind of skeletal inner. That's kind of what's on his face there. But it also, oh, that's interesting, because it's also this moth here as well. So I've just recognised it actually does look like a moth. I don't know if you can see that very well in this light, and this, but she's holding this pink moth, and then he's got what looks like this moth, which actually looks kind of, if you can get it in the right frame, I don't know if you can, or if I can, so you can see it maybe there. It looks like it's kind of like the flesh on his face has been kind of burnt. And that's what I was picking up with this, about like not going too close to the flame, to the fire, to the kind of whatever this is, this attraction. Possibly don't give your heart away too quickly. As well. Could also be the warning here as well, because it does feel like there's some kind of warning. So maybe that's also what it's saying, is don't give your heart away too quickly. Don't be too quick, too sudden to kind of leap into. A situation. It's kind of how it's feeling. Yeah, see with the Four of Swords here, it's saying hold back. Take your time. It also feels as though it's like get to know more. Is what's also coming through here as well, the Hierophant. Get to know. Like this person may not be what they appear on the surface. Or this situation may not be what it appears on the surface. And it is going to call for some inner strength. For some maturity. And when it's in reverse, when the Strength card's in reverse, then it's even harder. That strength, that kind of finding that mature place to come from. Rather than just kind of attacking like a beast, like a wild beast, like the beast inside. So November, the two major Arcana cards that we have here is Strength again, interestingly. But Strength is upright, and we have the Lovers card here as well. And these two cards came out with two cards of their own. So we've got the Two of Fire and the Strength card. So this is saying to me that this is about a direction, a new direction, a new idea. Following your instincts is also what's coming out here. Following your instincts, your own knowing on something. Having the strength to having the strength to kind of light your own path here. Whereas here I feel as though you don't have that strength. Or you don't feel as though you have that strength. Or you're being seen as somebody who is weak and possibly easily manipulated. But then we also have the Two of Water and the Lovers card here. But the Two of Water or the Two of Cups is also in reverse. So that's two twos that you've got here. And the two major Arcana cards of Strength and the Lovers is kind of talking about having that strength or finding that strength. To trust yourself to love again, possibly. Or to trust in love. Because we've got the masculine and the feminine and the masculine and the feminine energy here as well, with the tiger and the woman here, and then these two lovers kind of holding on to each other. They look like they don't ever want to let each other go in that card. But it feels like a new path opening up. With the Two of Water or the Two of Cups in reverse, it may be because the Two of Cups is about an initial attraction between people, but it did come out with the Lovers card as well. And I do get a sense of like this may be somebody who you have had a connection with before. Or somebody has more powerful feelings about somebody than the other person does, is also what's coming through. And that possibly, Virgo, you're kind of trying to find a new direction. With the Two of Wands, it's often a card for me of like you've got the Ace, and then the kind of the Two is the next energy after it. So what the Two implies is like there's a new creative thought or plan. It's like something's come along. It can be a job offer, it can be new friendship, it can be anything, but it's something that kind of gets you like thinking about it. It gets you kind of stirred to do something, to take action. That's what this card is saying here. There's something about taking action. But there's also, on some level, with this particular Two of Fire, it also feels as though somebody is kind of giving, how can I put it, like somebody is relying on somebody else or on something else to get them to where they need to be. because she's sitting on that giraffe and she's kind of heading to the end of this cliff here. And it's like we don't know what's next, but the giraffe's kind of got this weird look on its face as well, as if to say, are you sure about this? And the character, the person who's sitting on that giraffe, doesn't really seem to be taking any kind of control. It's almost like they're just trusting, or they're kind of caught up in something. They're miles away in their own head. They're kind of miles away in a different space, a different land, a different kind of idea or vision, or like they're not really aware of where they're kind of heading. So they're kind of relying or trusting, maybe trusting that they're going to be looked after or safe, or that their instincts, that instinctually they will know the right thing to do, the right path to take. Which may not be this situation here, because this is in reverse with the Lovers and the Two of Cups, Two of Water. There's a lot of twos. It's like there's two creatures involved here. The giraffe and the woman who's sitting on it. We've got the tiger and the woman here. And we've got the two lovers and the two fish in the pond. So it could be that you're searching. And holding out for something. When it comes to a relationship, when it comes to love, when it comes to your who it is that you choose to have that relationship is going to be somebody who you resonate with, it feels like, is what's coming through with this Strength card as well. Like on all levels, it's like it feels like it has to be a marriage or a connection on all levels. And that this person also has to be able to kind of not only take care of themselves, but also be open-minded. Is what I'm getting from this. There needs to be something that's open-minded. But with this Two of Water here as well, in reverse, this Two of Cups, it just feels as though you're not seeing it. There could be somebody there kind of waiting in the background, but you're not seeing it, Virgo. We've got the Lovers again. Interesting. Lovers in reverse, along with the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands was upright. So this could be somebody who you see as being literally somebody who's kind of like, you know, they're immature, that it's a very kind of lustful or sexual or kind of yeah, somebody who you can't totally trust with your heart and your, so maybe you're kind of this is what you're wanting, I feel. This is what you're wanting. You're wanting somebody who you can depend on to be there for you. At times when things get difficult, when you need that support, Virgo, that's what you're hoping for. But at this time, it feels as though if there is somebody who enters into your life in November, or they may already have entered into your life October, November time, then there's something here that doesn't sit right. There's something that doesn't feel right or sit right for you. And it may be that they are just in it for the fun, not for the long term. That they just want something that's just going to give them a bit of fun. And Virgo, I don't feel as though that's what you're looking for in that situation. And in December, we have the Ace of Fire here, the Ace of Wands. So this is a completely new energy that's coming in here. It's like a completely how can you put it? Completely fiery, passionate, loving. This is you, I feel, in that space of I need to do something to, it's like create something where I can put my heart and my soul and me into it, basically, is what's coming through here, Virgo. I don't know if you can see it again. Let's see if I can just turn this around and weave it without it all collapsing. If you can see in that picture there's a tiny, tiny little fairy sitting on the edge of that, just here. And she is also clutching a tiny, tiny red heart, which is kind of taking me back to this King of Wands energy here as well. It's like you want to open up your heart and you want to give it to somebody. But this is kind of saying at this time that you're also with the Chariot, which I should have shown first because that's the major Arcana card. So there's kind of this holding back on this. It's like you want to go. It's like this is kind of a raring to go energy, but this is kind of holding it back again. Again, it's more emotions and fire and creativity and passion. So if you look at the Chariot energy there as well, it's very watery energy. It's said to be the card of Cancer. Personally, I don't see it as the card of Cancer. I actually see it more as the Aries energy of Aries, which in itself again is a fire energy. So if I was to read this as a fire energy, the Chariot, then that would be a lot of fire. But this Chariot is not moving forward at this time. Again, to do with balance. But there is something that is coming in for you in December. There's something that is going to get you fired up. It's going to get you passionate. It's going to get you wanting to take action. But at the same time, with the Chariot in reverse, you may feel as though you need to put the brakes on this, or the brakes may be put on it for some other reason. Maybe that it's not the right time, or it can't happen right now, particularly if this is to do with somebody else, if there's another person involved here. We have the Judgment card. So for me, this is saying kind of hold back, hold for your horses here, slow down, because this isn't the right time. There's still things that you need to work through here, Virgo. If you see these people here coming out of this coffin down below here, what this is kind of saying is that this is about releasing past experiences, releasing past people, places, things, emotions, because you can't take it forward with you. If you want something brand new, if you want something that's going to grow successfully, that you can put your heart, your passion, your drive, your fire, your creativity is really, and creativity seems to be the theme of 2022 for you, Virgo. A lot of creative drive here. Creativity, sexual energy, it can also be to do with like children as well. The Ace of Wands can also indicate new life. But it's saying here with the Judgment card that there is something that you still need to like let go of that baggage, release all that past that you're still kind of carrying around with you, in order for something to be kind of totally fresh and new and unburdened. For you to be fresh, new and unburdened. So that you're not taking it into the future, is what's coming through, because the future wants to be this new creative like avenue or pathway or beginning, this new creative beginning. So it needs to be cleared, is what I'm getting. It needs to be cleared, it needs to be resolved within yourself. And we get a crystal clear blessing, which is interesting because I was actually seeing this as this kind of crystal clear new beginning, like no negative attachments to it, no, it's like completely clean, fresh. So it says, you are soon blessed, so I can't read that like that. You are soon blessed with great clarity. Your destiny is calling and your soul is, and your soul is shining. I'll take them off because I can't read it. It's infinite wisdom. So your soul is shining, it's infinite wisdom. You are blessed, protected and guided in all you do from this moment on. So that's a very beautiful message for you, Virgo. And lastly, I will pull I can never remember the name of these cards. I don't know why, it's terrible. What are they called? Wild Offering. The Wild Offering cards. Which has also got the Ganesh, I've just noticed as well. So maybe there's something to do with elephants. Past history, elephants never forget. maybe there's a message there as well, because it is also about letting go. So maybe there's things here saying that you need to forget, forgive, release, let it go, whatever that may be. Anyway, that wasn't the card, so I'm going to continue shuffling, Virgo. Time is getting on, so as I'm shuffling, I will just say thank you very much to all of you who've come across to watch this reading. I hope that it has given you some help, some benefit from it, from listening to it. And also, if you have enjoyed listening to it, or enjoyed, sorry, my head is elsewhere at the moment, other things going on in it, so if you have enjoyed listening to it, please could you thumbs it up for me as well at this time, please, because that really helps to grow my channel. It makes YouTube realise that there are people taking notice of my videos, so that's always nice. And also there is going to be a subscription button on the video, or there is, so if you want to tap that and subscribe to my channel as well, would really appreciate that, because I'm really trying to grow my channel, and that's all about growing and getting the message out there, and just generally helping me to kind of share what it is that I'm doing at this time as well. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please could you do that as well. And gratitude is the card that you have got here, Virgo. So let's see what it says. It says, find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now, and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm, like the warmth of the sun. So gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, as they say. So I'm going to leave the reading there because it is getting on. It's almost 2 hours long now. So thank you very much for listening and watching my video, and please take really good care of yourselves at this time, Virgo, and anybody else around you who you can. Hopefully see you soon.